Welcome to AbsoluteCast. This is episode 10, which is actually part 3 of our roundup or deep dive into WWDC 2020. I'm TJ, your host, and of course with us we have Udit.
Hello guys, hope you liked our previous two parts of WWDC.
And of course we have with us Nakul, who also edits these episodes.
Hello everyone, I hope this lighting is better.
So we're all trying something little different. Knuckles got a little thing on, and I've got a different camera setup. Just temporarily going to try something out. Hopefully it's something nice, and we can see how we can make it a little better and improve over time. Udit still has his apple with his bite taken out of it.
Right.
So how are you guys doing? It's been a couple of days since our last recording.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Doing well.
All going well?
All
Yes.
going good, yeah. Enjoyed the weekend.
Yeah. We
Finally, after such a long time, I could stay out after 11.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
After
Yeah.
the
So
lockdown
that's a
was
good
removed.
change.
Yeah, lockdown is over. Well, that's a good thing, yeah, I guess. Okay, so before we start, I just wanted to say something. So I made a mistake in the last episodes when we were talking about the double tap feature and the triple tap feature on iOS 14. It actually does work on my phone. I just didn't realize that it was... I mean, everything that I was seeing, the videos and the photos that I was seeing, it was under the general and back tap, is what I saw. General accessibility back tap. But actually, it's under, I think, general accessibility touch back tap.
No, there is no... Accessibility is in the main settings only now.
Yeah,
You don't
so
have to
sorry,
go to
it's
general,
as in it's in under accessibility and back and touch and then back tap.
Touch.
So
Correct.
just to clarify that, it actually does work. I have tried it. I've not used it extensively, but I have tried it, and I think just wanted to clarify that. So in case someone faces that or they can't find the setting, well, that's where it is. And the other thing was we were talking about search. So obviously, having used the device a little more on a daily basis for work and things like that, I noticed a slight difference in the search interface once you search for something. So let's say, for example, I'm searching for Spotify, right? So I'll write SPO, and let's assume the app shows up. Now, before, you'd have to press on the icon.
Right.
But now, the way it works, you'll see that the icon has like a little border around it.
Okay.
And you can actually just press go on the keyboard. Okay. So it's basically so as you're typing, you type. It'll select the first app that it suggests, and you can just hit go, and it opens the app.
Okay.
So that border is for that.
Yeah. So
Because I noticed the border. I thought it's just a UI change.
Right, and I didn't like that UI change. I was like, what the hell is this? It looks so weird. And then I was like, wait a second. Then when I took my head into the Spotlight realm, so to say, if you look at Spotlight on Mac, when you're searching for something, the moment you type something out, the first one gets highlighted. So this is Apple's way of highlighting it.
Right.
And I believe that's how you can sort of quickly... It does make selecting the option a bit quicker, I think. So I think it's a good idea overall. So that's one of the small changes I noticed on Spotlight, and I was quite happy with it. It just took me a couple of times to get used to doing that, because every time, like, it's so muscle memory, right? Just swipe, search, and click. Like, but now it's no longer just type and then press go. It's actually better. Once I've started to do that a bit more often, it's become a bit more natural, and I think I like it. I think it's a good...
So how often do you open apps by searching them, or do you prefer to open from the home screen, from like where?
So if it's not on my first page,
Right.
almost, I would say 9 out of 10 times, or even 19 out of 20 times, I will actually just Spotlight search it.
Okay.
Sometimes, even if it's on my home screen, I would Spotlight search it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a very... I think just because it's so easy. Once you're on the home page, you just swipe down and you're there. Like, it's very quick, rather than going like, I think it's inside the useless folder.
What I do is I have to... I'll recollect what is the color of the icon, so I'll look for that color. Because
Yeah, you have to start... But what if it's on page 3 of the folder, which is on page 4 of your home page? Like, I have so many apps on my phone.
Or worst, in which folder has Apple put it? Because they are categorizing it, right?
Yeah, but that's in the app library, right? Which is, to be honest, for me, that's what the app library I think is quite useless, and I don't like the idea of the app drawer even on Android. I like the idea of hiding the pages.
Okay.
And coming to think of it, but I mean, I have to change how I fundamentally use the homepage now to be able to
Right.
take
Right.
advantage of removing that, because now off late my homepage has gotten a bit crazy. I have a third page. It's always been two pages. It's never gone to the third page, but now I have a
Okay.
few apps that I've started to use recently, and I didn't really want to put on my first page. I don't want to put it inside a folder because it doesn't have like a specific place. It goes into multiple folders, and I don't want to do that. So now I've made a third page, and it's all over there. And it's a bit to me it's a bit manic. Maybe for somebody else it seems normal, or maybe to somebody else it's like, what the hell are you doing? Go destroy your phone. But I don't know. That's how I use it. I just now swipe down, search for it. I mean,
Okay.
if I can't remember the name of the app, that means A, why is it on my phone? B, why am I using it? And C, what the hell is the stupid name that you can't remember? So I don't know. That's
Yeah, listening to that, I think I'll need to organize my home screen. I've got 6 pages.
Oh my gosh.
But because I have no folders. I have just one folder named Apple shit. I literally have a folder named
So
Wow,
I have
so
a
apt.
in that there is there is like stocks and weather and compass and iTunes.
So if you
store.
see my second page is only folders.
Okay.
Like there's nothing else but folders. On my home page, I have 2 folders because those are things I use regularly, and it's too many for my home page. But now, given the fact that we have widgets, so now I have a 4th page, which is only for widgets. And it's got like
Okay.
3 widgets just because I'm testing it out. My 3rd page, like I already mentioned, is like these new apps that I've sort of recently started using.
Okay.
And just sort of like, for example, there is an app which is called Recordify. Okay. I don't know the name of this app. Obviously, I have it now because it's in front of me. But basically, it records voice notes and sends it as an attachment on Slack. And that's literally what it's for. Right? So
Okay.
I only use it when I have like a lot to say and I don't have my computer close by and I don't want to type. So I'll record it as an audio and then send it across. But like this app, I would never be able to spotlight search it because I just don't remember
Right.
what it is.
Right.
So, whoa. Sounds like there's a lot of noise around me with the ambulance and whatnot. Could you guys hear that through your audio?
No, we could.
no,
Oh, okay. Anyway, sorry to digress, but that's like, yeah, just one of the things. And another thing I wanted to point out really quick. Was there anything else? No, actually, sorry, that was it.
with search, what I've noticed is earlier in iOS 13 when I used to search for an app, let's say Angami. So as soon as I type ANG, it'll show me as a first result Angami,
Yeah.
but before even pressing it, it'll generate another result.
Right.
So by mistake, I would go somewhere else.
You'd go somewhere
So
else.
in this, yeah. So in iOS 14, I haven't faced that issue yet.
Actually, to be honest, I don't think that ever happened to me on the iPhone search before, or maybe it has, but not often enough for it to be a bother for me. But it has happened on something like AirDrop, which really irritates me because if you're populating a list and you already have something shown on top, put the other stuff below, so the original
okay.
thing's position doesn't move down. So there've been so many times when I'm airdropping something from my phone to my MacBook, and I'm about to
Yeah.
press my MacBook icon, and it's just moved down and it goes to my wife instead.
Yes. That
And
happens
she's
to a
like-
lot of websites also I've seen. I mean, they of course do it on purpose.
Yeah.
But then you're about to click something, it just goes down and you end up clicking something, you end up
Something.
forgetting what the hell were you here for.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I don't want to send a picture of a cute little hedgehog to my wife. It's for me only. So, but yeah, that's something that I think from a UI perspective, it should be fixed. Like for anything, anytime you're populating something, do it underneath so that the rest of the UI doesn't shift. Like,
So this will also happen in the iOS update where it highlights one one app. Suppose you're typing, you type 3 letters and then it highlights something, and by mistake you end up typing another letter, and then you click enter, and then it has showed you some other result because
it could
wasn't
happen.
matching.
It could happen, but that makes sense because you've added more information and the results have completely changed.
Yeah.
It could happen in that. So for example, on Spotlight, if you write, let's say what's a good example? Let's say, okay, Spotify, Skype, let's take these 2 examples, right? Now I
Okay.
open Spotify, let's say 20 times more than I open Skype. So every time I press the letter S, the first result will show as Spotify.
Spotify.
Okay. Now if I write K, Spotify no longer becomes relevant, and now Skype comes as my number one. So
Yeah,
just for the
of
alphabets
course.
S and K, it's sort of like the shortcut has become S and K on Spotlight for Skype, and as a shortcut for Spotify.
Okay.
Something like that. So that's why I think that part makes sense. But the results show up really quick, so I don't think it should be much of a problem. Especially like it's become faster over time as it's indexed more and learned from my habits a bit more, and that's how Spotlight works even on the Mac. So
Okay.
I think it's a good change. Just thought I'd update from my point of view what I felt has sort of become a little better. Oh, sorry, yeah, one more thing. Notes UI has changed quite a lot.
Yes.
I don't know if you use Notes very often.
I do, but in the recent 2 or 3 days I haven't. So
Yeah, so they've redone their whole folder UI and the list UI. It's become a bit narrower, kind of like
Yes,
how the
that's what I'm
difference of the
noticing now.
width in the home slider. Remember, I told you guys about the width for the widgets that you can put on the home. It's a little narrower than the rest of it. So this sort of follows that width.
Okay.
I don't know if it's good or bad. It's just something I noticed.
Do you like it better?
I don't care. It doesn't make any
okay,
difference to
okay.
me. I'm
Okay.
so indifferent about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Note itself has become better in terms of the colors. So like I'm on dark mode, and I feel like the notes are darker than what they were before. Like before, I think it was a sort of almost like a lightish gray. Now it's
Okay.
become
Yeah.
like proper OLED, like dark blacks, which is nice.
yes. Correct.
So your notes are dark now, is it?
I've got some really dark notes. Now imagine if I airdrop those to my wife. So this is what you really think of me.
Right.
in notes in the at the WWDC I could only recollect what they said about that. So the document scans will be better.
Okay, I
That's the-
don't remember
yeah, that's-
listening to it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing that stood apart. Yeah,
Honestly, the document scans are already pretty great.
yeah, that's actually.
Yeah, so if they improve it, honestly, I was looking at someone sent me one of these. It was somewhat of a legal document that someone sent me as a cam scan, and honestly, it was so bad. It was so bad. I don't know if he was using. I think he uses an Android phone, so he took it from his phone, but it was so poor quality. And on the other hand, with my iPhone, the clarity is phenomenal. So, I don't know.
I think in scans, if you take a picture of maybe let's say your Emirates ID, so where your photo is, I think that part gets a little. I mean, the scanner doesn't know what to do with that because there's a hologram
because
also.
of the little hologram thing.
Yes, so I think maybe that got better.
But shouldn't it just
maybe,
depend on
yeah.
the camera? I mean, how good is your phone camera? I mean, why should the app do anything else except for just make it straighter?
I guess, yeah, and also the algorithms that are used to detect the thing and get the edges. So something I'd
Yeah.
noticed.
The edges.
So something I'd noticed before. I don't remember what phone I was using, but it was not an iPhone, or rather maybe it was the slightly older iPhone, or I don't know what it was. But
Okay.
I was using it was a white document on a bluish background, I remember, and there was a lot more background around the edges than
Okay.
if I do it now. Like now, it's so accurate. Even though
Okay.
what I try to do is I try to get it as close to the top as I can, because I feel like that gives it better resolution. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Maybe it's just a perception of mine. But I don't know. I think iPhone seems to be doing it better than anyone else right now.
Okay. So in my phone, which I'm using, the P30 Pro, it has an inbuilt in the camera,
Right.
the document mode. So I think
Is it
that
good?
does yes. I think
that's
it's
good.
Yeah?
really great. Yes, it aligns the page perfectly,
Okay.
and it's very very clear to read. That's basically what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and you have like 400 cameras to do that for you.
One camera for
Right.
each letter.
Yeah, well, the iPhone's catching up to that. I'm sure at some point it'll also do the same thing. Oh man, this camera wars are going a little berserk, I feel.
I know.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the Watch OS 7.
Right.
Right. I think before we talk about the Watch OS 7, Nakul, have you installed the beta on your watch?
I tried, but it doesn't let me install. I mean, like
Okay.
I go to software update and it says it's up to date.
Oh, you have to do the beta profile and all of that for the
Yeah,
watch
that all
separately.
is done. Yeah,
You've done all of
yeah,
that.
that all is done. Yes.
Okay, so something, a word of caution. I was watching someone's video. I can't remember who it was. I'll try to link it in the show notes. But I was watching this video of one of the guys who's done it and was going through all the features of watchOS 7. Something to be very cautious about. When you do install the beta on your watch, you cannot uninstall it yourself.
Yeah.
So you have to go to the Apple Store, give it to them. They will sort of bring it back to the original or whatever watchOS 6,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
then give you the watch. Yeah,
But you can do it for the phones.
you can do it for the phones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
remember there have been times like when iOS 11 or 12 came and I had the iPhone, Apple Watch Series 1. So the beta, I think this beta is really stable, but earlier were not that great
Yeah.
for iOS 13 or 12 or
Yeah.
11. So I remember not wearing my Apple Watch because I upgraded my Apple Watch as well.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
in beta wise. And I remember not wearing it for like till September, till they announced because I
Oh my
cannot go
gosh.
back. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, damn.
I was wearing analog watch. Like,
What is that? All right, cool. So then let's discuss what are the new things that were discussed about the watchOS 7. Let's start with sleep. Thoughts,
Okay.
Knuckle, on sleep? Do you get enough?
I want. I try to get 8 hours a day, but yeah.
8 hours a day. Knuckle, Udit, how long do you sleep for?
8 hours a night.
8 hours a night, yeah. Seems about right. If you're sleeping in the day, what are you doing all night long?
8 hours in a day. Okay. So, I wanted to install the beta on my watch to test this hand wash and sleep feature.
Right.
Because, but I doubt if I'll be sleeping with my watch.
Okay.
Yeah. That
Do you
I've
sleep with
tried.
your watch, Tanuj?
So it's very funny that I started sleeping with my watch 2 weeks ago. Sounds so wrong.
I know. I was just going to say, and what does your wife think about it?
Watch. Here's my watch. Click on the pillow.
Oh, hey baby, it's about that time. So I started sleeping with my watch on. I don't know why. I think 2-3 weeks ago I was struggling. So I don't know if it's really insomnia because I'm not diagnosed per se, but I know that sleeping is very difficult for me. So for example, I don't drink coffee after, let's say, about 3 or 4 o'clock. I don't drink coffee because then I do tend to stay awake. I don't drink sodas like Coca-Cola or Pepsi in the evenings for the same reason because they have caffeine. I try to stay away from all that kind of stuff. I tend to limit myself to 1 coffee a day, and if I want later on in the evening, if it's before, let's say, 8 o'clock, I'll have a decaf because even that has a little caffeine. But that's like I've had to do that because I've realized even if I'm not conscious about having that, I don't tend to sleep. So I started trying to understand why my energy levels are low, trying to do a little understanding of myself beyond the normal. So one of the things that was recommended is just to see how well you're sleeping. So that's why I started sleeping with the watch on, and I've been using Sleep Plus Plus on my watch to track Sleep Plus Plus to track how I'm sleeping. It seems to say I'm sleeping better than I feel like I am, but I mean, I did it for that, and I wasn't expecting a sleep app. I didn't even miss it as such because there are other apps to do it, but I didn't expect Apple to come up with a sleep app. So I'm quite happy now that I sleep with my watch on. I need to charge my watch every 2 days almost because I am quite like I have my watch off. The screen is off even though I can have it on. So I would put it in like the theater mode rather than leaving it in this mode. So so it drains less battery, so it lasts a little longer. So things like that. I tend to do that every now and then. And anyways, it tends to bother me if I'm using the watch and it's constantly like I can't have 4 or 5 devices throwing the same notification at me. It gets a bit much. It's like, you have a message on Facebook, you have a message on Facebook, you have a message on Facebook. Dude, I know, I got it. I'm already on Facebook and it's still notifying me.
And then you get angry and tap your phone twice, so it sends a sorry to your wife for no reason.
Why are you saying sorry? Because Facebook notified me too much. So that's why I kind of stopped the notifications on my phone. If I put it on theater mode, the notifications go to sleep on their own. So it's a win-win, I guess, in that sense.
I always thought Apple Watch had sleep. I mean, this is quite a surprise to me that it did not have native sleep tracking.
Yeah, right. It would make sense for them to add
Yeah.
it. I mean, I used to have, this is the 5th series, so I used to have the Apple Watch Series 3 as well, and that would last me also 2 days.
Okay.
But again, that one I had turned off the raise to wake feature. Like even in this, if you see, there's no raise to wake. I actually tap it for it to come awake.
Okay.
So that elongates the battery life a bit. So, I mean, for normal usage, I just want to see the time. So that's why I have this on. And that reduces. So I used to do that with that one as well, where it would be a tap to wake. It would help save my battery and it would last me 2 days. And I was happy with that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know why they never had it. It's a good addition. Maybe they weren't sure, or there are other apps to do it for them. So,
Perhaps, yeah.
you know, I don't know if you guys saw the interview of Craig on MKBHD's channel.
Yes, I did.
Yes,
I did.
I did.
So I think that, I don't know if, I mean, a lot of what he says makes sense, but I feel like he's just giving cop-out answers.
I mean, this is the first time that Apple has done that. Like after the
Yeah.
announcement, they usually don't talk about it. But yeah, but this time, like when he was taking the interview, I could sense that they didn't have answers. I mean, like that's why
Yeah.
they're like I don't know how to say it, but their answers were like they had to think about it and still give like that kind of answers I give at a job interview when I what are my strengths, weaknesses.
Make things up. So one of the
Yes.
things that really bugged me was that they chose to go default with Safari and with with the browser and Mail.
Yes.
When why only those? And his answer didn't satisfy me, only because, so what you're saying is that you don't trust map applications other than Apple Maps, but the default map app was Google Maps. So shouldn't they at least at the bare minimum qualify?
Right.
And I don't know why. I wish MKBHD had asked him, like Marquez should have asked him that particular question, because Maps has existed. And hey, you guys approve it on CarPlay. So clearly it's trusted. Why not change
Right.
Maps? And your maps, by the way, don't work in the rest of the world. So hello, make it your default. Like allow us to make our default map one that works. I don't even care what it is. Even if it's here maps, like let it be something that actually works here. You know, so
Right.
that's, I don't
True.
know. It really boils my blood. Like every single time, I'm like, "Argh!" This is the
Because
one thing.
during
Like,
the interview, Craig said that they did the survey and they found out that these are the two apps for which
where did they
people
do the
would want,
survey?
like-
In the Apple campus, in a small room, like where there were only two people, which was him and I don't know, Wozniak. Like who?
No,
who?
but I if you do a survey, like which two apps would you prefer? Like not most, like most used apps where you would find this feature beneficial.
I mean, changing the default app,
Yes,
Maps,
and
Maps.
one I'll keep Waze and the other one Google Maps.
No, just Maps. I mean, the rest I manage. I guess
Yeah,
if I could, I would change the messaging app to WhatsApp. Because
That's a big change here.
because
Yep.
there's nobody on iMessage for me at all.
I know,
right?
but
Like,
yeah,
I
think that's too much to ask from Apple. They
Yeah, but
won't do that.
that's exactly why I don't care. It's fine because at least iMessage works. I can still use it. Like it's still a functional app for me. And also WhatsApp doesn't do
But-
texting, so that's fine.
When does the default messaging app come into play? I mean, it's like, let's say you press the link which says create a message, like,
So if I
when
want to
does it-
send a message to somebody, like let's say on Siri, I say, "Hey Siri, send a message to so and so," they
Okay.
will send it through iMessage.
and do you not get a option of other apps?
I'll have to say send a
No.
message or send a message on WhatsApp to so and so, and
Okay.
it's just for
Okay,
that. I
so
mean,
on Android, if I say send a message to so and so, it asks me which app I want to use every time.
right. See, now that's a good way to go around doing it. But I feel like what Apple's response would be, why have that extra action in between?
Yeah, perhaps.
So
Since they
perhaps
have their own iMessage. I mean,
Yeah,
why
so they're
should
shoving
they,
it-
why should
they
they
sho-
need another step? That's true.
Right. So they're shoving it down your throat. But also, why do you want to give that choice? Because you're giving choice to your customers. You're
Of
giving
course,
choice to
of
your
course,
users.
Of course. Of
So,
course.
I mean, maybe it would be more considerate for them to give the choice. Do you want to be asked?
Right.
Where do you want to send this message
Yes.
from?
Yes.
Every single time? Or do you want to make, when you use Siri to send a message, do you want to send it through WhatsApp? Do you
Right.
want to be asked, or do you want to just use whatever's default? Like,
Right.
okay,
right,
I can
right.
set it up, right? I can take a second and I'm done for the rest of this iPhone's life, I guess.
True. Very true.
So so I like he gave this answer about Siri, like the reason why the whole screen is still not usable under Siri, even though it's just a little bubble at the bottom. Why can't we use the whole screen? And he's like, because once you're done with Siri, you click and you're out of it. Right? So, I mean, I was just thinking of a response while I was watching the video. Why not have it where it stays on top for a certain amount of time, let's say 10 seconds, but you have a little button that lets you pin it
Right.
until you swipe it away. So let's say I asked Siri, what's the weather? And she showed me the weather. Now I continue using, and I click pin, and I continue
Okay.
using my app. So it's there because I want to reference it. It says whatever, 40
Right,
degrees. So
right,
I can type
right.
out 40 degrees in the app that I'm using, for
Okay,
example.
yeah, right,
Because for me, see, I'm really atrocious at spellings. Like absolutely atrocious. So what I do is I always, like, if it's not auto-corrected for me in the document editor that I'm using, I'll tend to Google it, you know. So I'll Google what is this word, or I'll ask Siri, how do you spell, what is the definition of this word, because then it'll show me the word,
Right.
right? So then what I'll do is that I would like to pin that and write it where I need to write it, and then I can
Correct,
swipe it
correct.
away, because I still want to see the information and interact with what's underneath.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there should be like a timer, or I like that animation where they have a little button. It's not in iOS. I don't know which OS it is, but you have a little button and the border is like your timer. You know?
Oh,
so,
okay.
So I don't know
It's like
who does
maybe-
this, but
maybe time lapse. Like how is it in time lapse?
sort of like
An
that.
iPhone.
So sort of, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
like that.
sort
So,
of, yeah.
so you have the button, and let's say it's gonna stay on for 15 seconds on the pin button. If you don't press it for
Yeah.
15 seconds, the thing will go away. But if you press it, the timer is
Right.
done, and
Yes,
now you
yes,
pin
yes, I
the
get it.
little
Like
card.
how is it in Ludo? When
In
we're
Ludo?
playing Ludo, it's the same thing.
Is it?
I don't know. I don't know if you play Ludo, but yeah.
No, I don't.
Not really.
I-
No, I haven't. Dead reference. Anyways, that was just my 2 cents about that particular comment that was made in that video, and I felt like this could be a potential way to go about doing it. For
There was
me,
also another thing that MKBHD said, that the watch does not work only with the iPad. I mean, you need an iPhone. But why? I mean, why is that?
I don't know how many use cases that would be, where a person would have an iPad and not have the iPhone. I have someone in my family who doesn't have the iPhone, but has an
Okay.
iPad.
Right.
But we will never give them an Apple Watch, because, I mean, it's my grandmom. She
Okay.
can barely use the iPad, and the interface
Okay,
is already
okay,
too
okay.
small and difficult for her to see. So
Okay.
we had to maximize. I can't imagine her sitting on her watch and doing anything. Like, it's just
Yeah, well, okay.
unfeasible.
Makes
But I
sense.
think for those kind of people, like, they don't have the watch, and I don't know what's the overlap of customers or users who have the Apple Watch and the iPad and don't have the iPhone. I don't know.
Okay, perhaps, yeah. Maybe very few.
Yeah,
Kids and elderly people. Yeah.
kids and
Kids
elderly
have
people.
Yeah.
'Cause I was
That will be
think-
their demographic.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Like, if when I have a kid, I could get away with giving them just an Apple Watch with a chip and headphones,
Mm-hmm.
and they can go off to school and still be connected with me, or go off to their friend's house, still be connected with me, without giving them a phone, which could potentially distract them from studies and what have you, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I don't know, but then also there are these parental control features on iOS, so I don't know, I don't have a kid to test it out on, so. iOS 14
WWDC
beta.
21. WWDC 20. Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be like iOS 14 beta and beta.
Beta.
Or Betty. I mean, I don't know. Anything is fine. I don't think by 2021 I'm gonna be giving. If I have a kid today, like let's say the kid is born today, I am not giving them
What are
an
you doing
iPhone. I'm not giving them an iPhone till 2021. For sure, that's not happening. Maybe for the next 5-10 years, not happening. I'm not gonna give them like, oh yeah, you can be the poshest one in your class. Go with your iPhone. No, you take Nokia 1, Android Go. That's it. You go.
Okay, iOS 22 then. We'll be waiting.
22, no, that's 2 years. It has to be 25. 5 to 10 years ke gap mein maybe,
Okay,
then I will
25.
consider. I don't know. No kids on the horizon right now, so not happening. Cool. Nakul, anything else you want to add on sleep?
No. I would like to try it, but I'm not keen on sleeping with my watch.
Actually,
like you
Nakul,
are.
Udit, do you wear a watch when you sleep?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Lately, I haven't been wearing a watch at all since the lockdown
Okay.
much. But then, yeah, I always do wear a watch while
Because
sleeping.
time is not of concern to it.
Well, I used to use it a lot for notifications, but then it used to be when I was driving and stuff.
Right.
So now I don't find the need as much. But yeah, I think lately using the Huawei watch band, one of them.
Right.
And that had sleep tracking.
Okay.
But then I didn't find it so useful. I mean, when I get up, okay, it tells me that for 78% of the time I've slept well, so much I've not slept well. But okay, I mean, so what? Like, I know when I got up, am I fresh or am I not fresh? So
Right.
it doesn't help me as much.
No, but
That's-
I guess the idea in sleep tracking is something like you're trying to understand. Okay, I feel not fresh. In my sleep app, it says I had restless sleep for majority of it. So that's probably why. What was my mental state before I went to sleep? Was I stressed about something? Did I think about something? Did I fight with someone? Or was I extremely happy? Did I just play a game? Like, that happens to me. When I'm playing a game, especially shooting games where you're like super into it and you can die and stuff like that. So in that, your adrenaline is very high. So if I do that, my dreams are related to that. Like, it's always some action-packed dream. And so I invariably end up waking up tired. So,
okay.
So something like, I assume that's why I've only recently really gotten into sleep tracking. So I'm trying to learn it for myself and understand. Like, I'll give you another example. Now, this might be a little stupid and some people may not want to hear this, but at one point, I had to pee in the middle of the night. So I got up and I swear it felt like 45 minutes. I don't know why. It felt like I got up, I went, I came back, and I couldn't sleep for another 45 minutes. But as per my watch, it was about 7 minutes.
Okay.
So that 7-minute break in the middle really messed with my sleep.
Really messed your sleep. Okay.
Which I had attributed to being a lot longer than it actually was. So I don't know if that's interesting, but I found it rather fascinating because I was like, wow, it felt so much longer than it actually was. Like getting up, dealing with the fact that you need to go, doing the thing, washing your hands, walking back, lying down, all of that,
Right.
plus falling asleep took 7 minutes.
Wow.
So
Now, if it was the iOS 14, you could have known how long you washed your hands for.
oh yeah, which takes us into our next point of WatchOS 7 is hand washing. Thoughts and emotions and feelings.
Well, I think, because of the corona, it's something with the end times, but not at all practical. I mean, I don't think someone would need it. It's a nice touch, but not practically needed, of course.
I mean, I think as long as it's not on your face, I mean, like automatically it'll recognize when you're washing your hands, and it'll be. I mean, whenever I'm washing my hands, that time only I come to know, like, okay, I have this feature. Then it's fine. It shouldn't be on my face, like it's time to wash your hands, or time to like how it does for time to stand up or breathe.
Time to breathe.
So it gives a notification saying you need to wash your hands?
No, it doesn't.
No, as long as it doesn't do that. But I don't think it'll do that.
So the idea is that it tracks based on your hand movements and the sound of water. It sort of figures out if you're washing your hands or not. It's not, I mean, obviously we've not had the chance to try it. Again, in that same video that I talked about earlier, the guy tried it and he said after, I think 2-3 times it didn't work. And then randomly it worked one time, but he wasn't washing his hands then. So I think it's because it's beta, it's not fully...
I want to know what was he doing then, though.
Yeah, right?
I mean, like as long as in the like during the end of the day, it will show you like you wash your hands like 8 times, but he'll be like, but I washed only 6 times. What did I do twice?
So I categorically disagree with you about what you said, Nakul. I do not agree about the fact that it doesn't remind you to wash your hands. Because there are some guys who go into the bathroom and do their business and do not wash their hands. And obviously, since you are in the same vicinity, area, space as them in a public toilet, you do tend to maybe subconsciously realize that someone came in and left and they missed one of the steps in between. So I feel like if the Apple Watch can detect that someone has peed, for men, I'm happy for it to be limited to men. I don't know if women do this or not. But if they pee and they leave the bathroom, it makes such a loud alarm and it cannot be turned off, so that they get embarrassed to the point where they go back and it's like, he has not washed his hands. He has not washed his... That should be done. I think
hologram will come out.
Like a Sims like little gem that shows up or something, and like, something like that. Like, I feel like those disgusting human beings, or I don't know what you want to call them, really should be embarrassed to the point where they wash their hands. For those people specifically, I don't know. I mean, if I forgot, I should be ashamed about it, and I should be, forced to go back and wash my hands.
Yep.
Which thankfully I do not forget. I do wash my hands. So, let me clarify. So, yeah, I mean, I think need of the hour, sure. It's funny also because very recently I became very conscious about the way I wash my hands. Like, I noticed that I tend to waste a lot of soap. I tend to waste a lot of water. So I think in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I started like consciously focusing on my hand washing. So I'd take a little bit of soap. I wet my hands, take a little bit of soap, and I'll turn the tap off and properly wash and focus on that and clear my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre. I don't know why I went through this process of doing that, but I feel like it made me clear my head for a little bit of time, and now I can focus on my other tasks. I don't know why. Like, it gave me a break. Because I'm always thinking about, what was I doing? Something or the other.
So when you switch off the tap, will your watch still know, because there's no water sound, that you're
Actually, that's a
the
good
hands?
point.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I turn it off
Is it-
while I'm lathering
I
up
get it.
to save water, and then I turn it off.
Is it linked to like...
Sound. It's linked to sound.
Is it
And
linked to sound? Oh,
it's
okay.
both.
And hand
It's linked-
gesture.
It's linked to, movements and sound.
Motion and...
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Okay,
see.
then it should recognize peeing and the other sounds.
Right? Yeah, but you don't go like this unless you are very, very lucky. Like, just saying.
And
Cool, I'm
definitely not that hand movement. No. Then you definitely need another hand wash.
Okay, I'm gonna move on because I don't want to have this conversation any longer. Let's talk about dance. Did anyone?
Okay.
Did you guys know more about the dance thing? Because I didn't really look into it much.
No, but I think we spoke that it was there, but now it's improved or something, right?
Yeah, so I it's definitely there. I mean, I've used it even. I remember, but
But the fact that it was there in WWDC means maybe it has to be something big, but we just don't know how.
I mean,
big
I
or
think
what.
they did talk about the various movements that it can track, but I honestly I don't have anything to compare to. I don't know what it was like before, so I guess it's just become better, like you're saying.
I think right now in our Apple Watches, it just says dance as a workout, correct?
Right.
So I think now it'll show like what kind of dance you're doing.
Right. Okay.
So that's why they've added because like I got a notification kind of thing when they said Bollywood. Then only I looked up like, okay,
Yeah.
so there's Bollywood also.
I kind of zoned out myself
Yeah.
during that point in the keynote. Oops.
So okay.
I need to go back and
There's
watch it.
there's only dance. Yeah.
Does it
So
have
then
types of desi dances like bhangra or whatever,
Just Bollywood.
Just
Okay.
I think Bollywood dance.
Our thousands and thousands of dance styles have been categorized into Bollywood,
I know, right?
which doesn't
Yeah.
include classic dancing, classical Indian dancing at all, and there are so many
know.
variations of it. What is that? What is that South Indian graduation ceremony for dance? Oh, what is it called? Just imagine someone wearing the Apple Watch in the middle of that. Like, I don't think that would work out very well. Cool. Cool. Okay, so let's move on to, I guess, the two bigger features. I guess that maybe Nakul and I specifically relate to, one is multiple complications on the same watch face.
Yep.
So obviously complications are the little bits of extra information that you can add on various zones on the watch face depending on the type of watch face. So now you can add multiple complications from the same app, which can be done from any developer. So it doesn't have to only be Apple. I think Apple was the only one where in some cases you could have multiple, but it was very rare or non-existent even. So now they've added that. So you can have, I don't know, 4 calendars on the same watch face if you want, or you can have multiple Siri shortcuts or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to start seeing third parties watch complications, because then I might be using my watch more, because right now I like Apple Watch, but just for even if I'm wearing, let's say, any other watch which gives me notification, I'll be happy with it.
Right.
So
Right.
I'll be happy if I can use my Apple Watch more. And then I think the watch faces will do that. I can open the third-party camera with it, or like whatever third-party apps that I'm
But you
using.
can open a third-party camera.
Yeah, I can open it. Can I
can.
create a complication?
For ProCam, I think there might be. I'm
for
not entirely
highlighting.
sure myself.
maybe.
I should check it out as well at some point. But while we try to figure this out, what are your thoughts on the complications?
Well, I think it's nice. I think Android has had it for
Right.
a while. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know if you can, if multiple complications from the same app are supported. I think they are, but then I'm not 100% sure about that.
I think on Android they are. But would it be a deal breaker for you to have it or not have it?
I don't think so. I mean, there are very few things that I want to launch from my phone.
Right.
I just mostly use it for notifications, let's say to reply to messages and stuff at the most.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I want to do something from my phone directly. What is it
Right.
that you guys use it for? Like these complications, what do you use it for?
So, for me personally, I would use it for one example is one of the cars that I have doesn't allow me to control the audio. I don't know. It's really strange. It has Bluetooth calling options, the car, but it doesn't have Bluetooth audio streaming options.
Okay.
Which I don't understand why is that.
Okay,
But
okay.
anyway, so that's one sort of restriction. So my watch becomes my music control while I'm driving that car, so I can play, pause, skip, all of that from my watch. So media control in that scenario, specifically on that scenario. Other scenarios is like when if I'm in the metro, or I'm in a situation where I can't get to my phone, or I don't want to get to my phone, then I can control some aspects, like primarily media on my watch. But other than that, I use it to track like what's my fitness level right now, or rather what activities I've done right now. I also like that I can change the colors of the watch, so it becomes like I can match it to what I'm wearing. The strap, the face, and my clothes, I can match that. So I kind of like that too. And I think that's about it. Sometimes I guess I use it like if I'm being more fitness focused, I'll change my watch to something like that. If I'm traveling, I might put time zones. Though I don't think we can really put much time now, so I've not really tried it properly. But yeah, that very basic usage. I would love to be able to reply to WhatsApp messages with my watch, which I can't do right now.
You can scribble.
Okay.
No, you can't WhatsApp messages.
You can scribble.
Can you?
It works.
No, but it's like it's like if I got a WhatsApp message and then I got another WhatsApp message from somebody else, I think there's some issue there.
Yes, you only see the
latest one.
Or the previous one. I mean,
Something like that.
I don't know how it works. Yeah.
I haven't tried it, but I think that's one limitation for me. So that's kind of how I use it. I'm sure there's more, but I can't think of it right now.
But if you get only one message on WhatsApp, you can click on reply and just start scribbling one letter at a word.
Or you can dictate it, I think.
No. I don't know. I haven't tried it.
The other thing I use my watch for a lot is to find my phone. Because I leave it somewhere.
Oh, okay.
And I just I open this up and then I call my phone and it's like, I'm here. Come find me.
Right. But then complications specifically, do you use any specific complications?
Just the
Not the
fitness
watch.
one, the
In-
basic ones, like kind of understanding what the weather is, the time, fitness,
Okay,
battery
okay.
level. That's about it.
Okay,
Really.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
I have the most basic faces, like the one which doesn't have too many things on it.
Okay,
I like the
okay.
design more than the features more. So it's not really make or
Yeah.
break. I didn't even know we didn't have multiple complications, quite frankly. I was like, oh, we don't have that now. We do. Yay!
So it's more complicated now.
It's now more complicated. Yeah.
For me it's usually very simple, like those only time or that Mickey Mouse face. That's it. I don't put much, like, because my niece likes Mickey Mouse, so
Right.
whenever I visit her, yeah,
Hello. Woohoo.
chachu with Mickey Mouse. So
Yeah, and it makes noises too, right? When you click it.
it does.
The watch or the knees?
When you click the knees. No, yeah, of course it makes noises, man. Isn't that like half the fun of the Mickey Mouse watch face? Oh my god, Knuckle doesn't even know what he's
Okay,
doing.
Apple fanboys trying to figure out their Mickey Mouse voices
What?
on the watch.
If you tap it, it's supposed to tell you time.
Okay, and apparently it's very low, so they have to remove their headphones and try to hear the Mickey Mouse.
No, I saw my watch was on silent, so
Oh yeah,
Even my
I
watch
heard
is on
some
silent.
noise.
Okay.
so
My watch is on silent.
So
Okay,
whose
wait.
niece is
Wait,
that now?
I'll put it on, like on the microphone.
now you've made me get the stupid Mickey Mouse
Oh.
watch face on my watch. I really want it. Wait,
I've got
nothing. It's
Okay.
black.
Yeah.
I've got Minnie Mouse.
Oh, Minnie Mouse. Ooh.
Okay, okay.
Ooh, his side chick's on his wrist. Cool. Okay, I guess then the last feature, which I think is one of the bigger features, but again, it's kind of not such a big deal for me personally, but face sharing.
Right.
Yay.
I think that's a feature that it depends how good the complications are.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it can get really big. People start sharing their faces. Yeah, it can get big, but let's see. Time will tell.
Yeah, like I would love to have, for example, if I'm going to like a sporting event, I would like to have something like a tag watch face or a Oakley watch face. But if I'm going to a little bit more fancier, I'd like to have like a Pathé Philippe watch face or a IWC watch face or a Rolex watch face or something like that. Like it would be nice to do that just because it feels more appropriate. Nothing really, or like if I could do like a mother of pearl watch face, because I love mother of pearl, I would love to be able to do that with Roman alphabets or something. It doesn't have to be Rolex. It can be just a general one. I would love to be able to customize my watch face a bit more like that. There are some ways to go about doing it by gimmicky things like maybe a picture of a mother of pearl or something like that, but it's not the same. I wish we could customize a watch face itself. And like, let's say I make one for my business. I have an app which integrates with the Apple Watch. I make a watch face for my business, put the logo and everything, or maybe not the logo, whatever it may be, and publish that on my website and be like, hey, if you want to use our services, you can just download this watch face onto your Apple Watch, and we're one step closer to you. That would be cool. So I guess we just have to wait and see how that works out. I haven't really looked into the Xcode side myself at this stage because I'm still not running the beta software, not running Big Sur on my. I'm just running Old Sur on my laptop still.
Small Sir, is it?
Small Sur.
Tiny.
Oh no, sir, not Big Sur. It's a small Sur. But yeah, that's I don't know. We'll wait and see. I'm happy to give it a go when it comes out. I don't really care either way.
Okay.
Cool. So I think I have really bad news. My audio has stopped at some point.
I think that was when
When I
The
called
Mickey Mouse
find
phone.
find my phone. When I did find my phone.
Find your phone.
Okay, that's fine. We'll figure it out at some point.
No, yeah.
I've
You turned it on,
now.
right?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
turned it on now, so we can fill the gap in the middle. What else? I think that's it for WatchOS 7.
Yes.
We'll see when we get our hands on the actual version to know a bit more, I guess, about it.
Where are we on the time of this
We are
meeting?
at About 49.
49 minutes.
Oh,
So
okay.
what do you guys think? Should we end the episode now and start the next episode for Big Sur and potentially Apple Silicon next, or should we
Yep.
start Big Sur now?
I think Big Sur will take
A while,
half-
yeah.
Somewhat,
Yeah,
okay.
it'll take a while, and also that transition will be more about, not about features, of course, but more about the discussion and how it's
Sure.
gonna change the industry and everything. So
Okay,
I think it's better if we keep it next.
Okay, so let's end this. I would actually really like to open this up for our listeners. If someone is excited about any of the WatchOS features specifically, I would love to know what they are. Do you have a vision for how you intend to use the multiple complications per app, or how you would like the experience of face sharing or whatever it's called? How you're gonna use that? Do you feel like that would be something that would be interesting to you? I would love to hear more about that. You
Nice.
can always get in touch with us on Twitter at Absolute Geeks, or you can comment on YouTube or any of the various podcasting platforms. We're available on anyone that you listen to podcasts on.
And if there are any developers who are listening, please give me a watch face of Dragon Ball Z. I would love that. When Tanuj was talking about Rolex and everything, I was like, okay, that's too classy. Let's not say Dragon Ball right now. But yeah, I would love a Dragon Ball Z.
So my
watch face.
Skype image is I think Goku at some point fighting Broly, and
Okay.
and there's like the image just of Goku doing the Kamehameha like that,
Yeah.
just like that. So that's my image, and it's been my image for forever. Since forever, I've ever used Skype. Like before, it was this pixelated version, and then a friend of mine I was Skyping with a friend, and he's like, "What is this? I can barely even see what your profile picture looks like." And I was like, "Oh, this is what it is." And then he did like a reverse Google image search, and he found a higher resolution version of it. And then I tried to like layer it exactly in the same position so that it doesn't change. And I don't know, it's a really bizarre behavior on my part, but I don't know. I really enjoy that. I wouldn't mind a Dragon Ball Z watch face. Quite
face.
frankly, yeah, it's
With,
like my
like-
childhood.
Like his hands going like
Yeah, or you can even do it like this from day to night. They transition from Goku and Vegeta combining, and then so daytime is Goku.
Yeah.
Then they transition by combining, and then the evening is Vegeta.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. What is it? What is the combination called of them? I forget now.
Yeah, I was like
I'm not a
Kotak.
fan, so
Oh man, this was my childhood, man. We used to stay up at night. It used to
Same,
come on. It used to come on either
used-
Cartoon Network or Animax.
Cartoon Network
Cartoon
at
Network.
night. I mean, it
At
used to come in
midnight?
daytime. Yeah, at midnight.
At midnight,
Yeah,
and at midnight,
and once
everything-
me and my brother stayed awake till midnight waiting for it to start, but it started from same old episode, because
Oh,
they were
shit.
Cartoon Network only could run till some.
Yeah, and then
episode, so-
TCM would come on and.
Yeah.
No, so
Right.
what I used to do was it used to come on midnight on Friday night or Saturday night or something like that. And obviously the next day is a holiday, so no one would stop me. It was like the one show that I would want to stay awake for. And it would, I think, I don't know if it was 12, it might have been 10 or 11. I could be remembering this wrong. I was really young. So it would go on for an hour. So it'd be two episodes back to back.
2 episodes. Yes.
Right? And the worst part was they start fighting, and the fight doesn't actually commence for like the next, I don't know, 6 weeks, because it only happens once a week.
That's why it's so epic.
Oh god. It's so irritating.
That's exactly why it's so epic.
Yeah, I guess so. Like what was that, Earth Bomb or something like that, where he's harnessing the energy
You know
of...
what? I've got an idea. We should do a movie review of Dragon Ball movie.
Oh, Dragon Ball
Which
movie. Which the new one is there, right? There's a new one with.
No. The one with real actors. I don't know.
Oh my god.
We should do that.
I have somehow found a way to erase it from my memory. I do not want to relive that.
maybe
horrible
Nakul wants their watch
abomination.
face as well.
That was horrible.
It was so
like-
bad. Why was that white boy in that movie in the first place? Who was that actor? I don't even know what that. He was so bad.
I'll send you a link of Chris Tuckman. He's a movie reviewer,
Right.
and he did a hilarious review on that.
Okay.
It's like 25 minutes long.
Oh my god.
We'll add it in the show notes. If anybody's interested, they can.
Yeah,
check it
sure.
out.
We'll add it to the show notes. Send it over and I'll add it to the show notes. Oh my god, I do not want to relive that. It was such a disappointment. Such a disappointment.
No.
But the Dragon Ball Z animated movies are decent, I would say.
Yeah, the last one that I watched was with that. What's the God
Majin
of
Buu.
Destruction?
Majin Buu? Oh, the
No,
production
I
house?
think. The it's actually it's on Netflix as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
The latest one. Yeah, I watched it in theaters.
It's with that god, no? That purple rat-looking god. What's his name?
Yeah, he's
So
the God
bad
of
at it.
Destruction.
Yeah,
He's
that
the God
guy.
of Destruction. Yeah,
I
he
think
comes back to Earth for ice cream.
Yeah. I think I watched it.
I mean,
And
like
now-
anybody listening who doesn't know Dragon Ball Z, like
Yeah, like me right here.
they must be wondering like a god comes down to Earth for ice cream.
He doesn't come down to Earth. He goes through the dimensions of space and time to reach
Yeah,
our
if you want to
realm.
get technical, yeah.
Right. So many complications right there.
Fair enough. That's our cue to end this episode, I think. Fair enough. But we will put everything in the show notes below, including the video for Marquez's interview. I'll put the video of the Apple Watch OS 7 beta, all the features, and definitely share with me the video for the Dragon Ball Z review. Hey, why not?
Yes.
These episodes are not scripted, so you'll hear random stuff in the middle. So fair enough. Okay, so let's sign off, guys.
Yes. Hope you like this video as well, and if you're listening, hope you like our voices and get ready to listen to us again in the next episode. And hopefully this WWDC would end by next episode. Let's see, because we never imagined that we would do a episode on WatchOS.
No, we didn't.
I know.
No, we didn't. But we talked about a lot of other stuff, so
Right.
fair enough.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
So let us know how many times did you wash your hands and how many times did your watch tell you that you did.
How about how many people you saw who didn't wash their hands
Oh my god.
Yeah.
before the pandemic? I'd rather watch the Dragon Ball Z movie than think about that. Alright guys, so this was episode 10, part 3 of WWDC, or rather our coverage of WWDC, and we hope to catch you guys in episode 11. Peace.